What's going on, fam? It's your fam, Zay Get It, back at y'all with another message, back at y'all with another video. Fam, I'm finna give y'all this video to y'all cold cut and raw. I'm finna give it to y'all. I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. So look, fam, the title of this video is What Life Taught Me After COVID. So after the shutdown, after COVID, I started seeing everything. It's like everything was so fake. It's like everything was just for attention. It was just for the greed of the money. It was just for everybody just wanted to be seen. Everybody just wanted to hop on a new trend. Anytime you go on social media and you see people with that dream body that you want and you see how they got it so fast, fam, everything's so fake. Like from the gym bodies, from the content, from this and that, like everything is fake. Like it's all for attention. You got to understand that. You see these people in this world, they got us so hooked. They got us so hooked on technology to where they want us to base our life off technology. They got us so hooked onto these rappers and what these rappers saying in they songs that they be thinking y'all gotta have multiple boyfriends or multiple options. And people be so caught up, they be trying to compare to their life to people on social media. But I remember when just having your own something or owning your own something, you was winning. With just owning a car and you was winning. With just owning an apartment or a house and you was winning. Just owning your own business and you was winning. Now people think that you got to be 19 and you got to be at your mama crib and you got to have this type of Hellcat. You got to have 6 figures. You got to have your own business. You got to have all this and that. But social media got everybody head caught up in this and that, fam. Everybody in such a hurry. Everybody in such a fast pace to get where they're going. But when they get there, they're going to be sorry. They're going to wish they never would have got there so fast. You got to understand that because it's the journey. It's not the destination. You got to understand that you got to embrace the journey. So look, fam, like, I realized like men is not men anymore. Men act like more like females. They act more feminine. Like you see men, they can't even do 30 push-ups. They probably can't even go hit 20. They probably can't even go hit a workout in the gym. They probably can't even go hit an hour or 30 minutes inside the gym. Like men are weak nowadays. The women are taking over and the women are becoming more masculine. Women are thinking that they can run a relationship and the head or the leader of the relationship. That's how this world got us so hooked like that. They want the men to be weak. They want the men to be dumbed down. They want the men to be in the streets, not knowing what they want to do in life, not being spiritually disciplined and not doing all this and that. You got to understand it, fam. It's like people see the next person that they see with this and that and they think they got to go get it. They see their celebrity or their favorite influencer or their favorite social media star with this and that and they don't want to get it until they see that person with it. You see, before social media, before COVID, before all this and that, fam, it was like everybody was outside doing what they like to do. Some people was outside being in the woods. I remember when people was building forts outside, like just going in the wood and just picking up sticks. Like people was just traveling like and just like being outside playing basketball every day. Nowadays, this generation, it's like Gen Z is the generation that sits in the house and that be in the house all day. It's because like they don't know what to do when COVID hit. It's like we're the generation that just like going through the most trauma, going through the most, and we just sitting in the house and we don't go outside. We don't go outside and go in nature no more. We forgot who we are. We just so lost because everything is just so fast paced. We don't know how to enjoy the little things in life. We don't know how to just go outside and just enjoy sunlight. Go outside and just go to a restaurant and just have something to eat. Everybody want to have 6 figures. Everybody want to have the most money. They want to get out. They want a mansion. That's what everybody trying to chase. But you got to forget, like, we came in this world with nothing. And then we get into this world chasing everything. And then we leave with none of that stuff. You got to understand that. So you got to understand that you got to be edifying your soul. You got to be edifying your spirit more than you edifying your flesh. More than you trying to chase the things of this world. You got to understand it, fam. It's just so crazy to, like, everybody just so caught up in this non-existent world. Nothing is real. You got to understand that everything is fake. The social media influencers, like nowadays, the music, when I was in the shower, I peeped. I was like, it's crazy how an artist will be popping and then he'll get signed to a label and then next thing you know, he in jail. And then it'll be another artist who gets signed or up and coming and then you hear about him. And then when he start popping, he go to jail. His music start dying down. It's like they music start dying down. They go to jail. Then they come out and then you hear about the next artist. And then you hear about the next artist. You hear about the next artist. Then you hear about the next artist. It's like an ongoing cycle. It's just like new people just coming up and just doing stuff. And everybody just taking each other content. They hopping on the newest trend. They hopping on the same trend and calling it content. But nobody being they self. Nobody being their authentic self. Nobody making their own content, coming up with their own stuff, fam. It's always what's the newest trend? What's the next trend? What's the next slang or the next word to say or the next drip to wear, the next clothes to wear? You gotta understand that it's not about being they self. Everybody influence, everybody thoughts or life influence based off social media. Nobody got their own thoughts or their own mind or their own self no more. You gotta understand that, fam. And I look back to the Martin Luther King quote to where it says, I look forward to the day when people are not judged based off their race, but based off their character. And that's what's going on right now. People who are still real and still they self, they get judged. You gotta understand that people that's real and still being they self and that's authentic and they post their own content, they don't get pushed in. You don't see them get pushed in the algorithm. You don't see them get put on mainstream. You don't see them doing this and that because this world is fake. Nowadays, the good is evil and the evil is good. They switched it, bro. They glorify the bad stuff and then they dumb down the good stuff. The real people, it's not too many real ones out there. Like, they don't get noticed. They don't get recognition. They always get swapped out, or they always get misunderstood. They always get called names and this and that. You gotta understand that, bro. It's just life after COVID. It's just like everything shifted. The frequency of this planet is just like low. Like, it's just like everybody walking around and just basically zombies. Everybody walking around, they spiritually dead. They don't know who they self is. They don't know what type of power they is. It's just like everybody going against each other. Everybody competing for this and that. It's all about greed. It's all about the love of money. That's what it is right now. That's what I'm seeing, bro. Everybody want to get on Instagram and win the lotto or go to Jamaica. They always want to get on Instagram and just want to do a one-hit wonder. Everybody trying to get online and just blow up and just do all this and that, bro. And I'm not knocking that, but if you gonna do that, do something and be yourself. If you want to get on there and do that, be yourself. Do what you like to do. Do what you do behind the scenes. Don't try to put on the image. Don't try to put on the front, because you can fake for so long, because fakeness, it can't last long. It can't last a long time, fam. Eventually, it's gonna show who you really is. Eventually, the real thing's gonna come out. What you do in the dark, you gotta understand that, fam. But what it also taught me is, like, everybody trying to figure out their way. Everybody trying to figure out their own path. Everybody got their problems. Everybody go through something on their own. Everybody go through something behind the scenes that nobody knows about, nobody talks about. Everybody got something that they trying to figure out, trying to work out, trying to do, trying to help or do this and that. That's how I saw life. Because when COVID hit, I was still in 8th grade. I was getting ready to finish 8th grade. So 8th grade was, for me down here, is in middle school. I live in North Carolina. So 8th grade, I was in 8th grade, bro. So when COVID did come back, like when it was still here and we was on virtual, I was in 9th grade. I had just hit high school. I was starting getting in the big boy leagues. So you got to understand, when you graduate, it's like everybody just trying to find their own path. Everybody just trying to make it, because the real world, when you get in the real world, it's hard, bro. You see how it is. You see how dysfunctional. You see how this system was just made to make you lose and just to go against you. You got to understand it. So it's hard. Everybody just trying to find something to do. Everybody just trying to find their own spot, their own spotlight, or something to just get their fingers dipped in. You gotta understand that everybody just trying to have experience. Everybody just trying to learn new things, learn new skills that school didn't teach them. You gotta understand that, fam. Everything is just so fugazi. I see why people, like, after high school, they don't want to be known about, they don't want to be seen, or they just go ghost from this world, because this world is so fake. I see why people is introverts. They want to sit in the house all day because this world is so fake. And that's what this generation is. Everything is so fake. Like, I see why people, like, just sit back and just listen. Because when you sit back and listen, you can scope. You can figure out who fake. You can figure out, who hang with who, this and that. You can figure out everything a lot when you silent. You got to understand that if you're not talking a lot, you got to be slow to speak and quick to hear. You got to understand that, because when you slow to speak, people reveal their actions. People reveal who they truly is and what they're about. Everything's so fake. You will see people, like, everything people do is fake online. They'll say they live here and here, and they really don't live there. They'll say they had this car, and they really don't have that car. You got to understand that everything is so fake. Like I said about the gym. You wondering why you in the gym and you working out every day and your body not looking like the person you following, is because they done did some type of maintenance. They done got they workout off a table, and you in the gym grinding. It's because you doing it. You being honest. You being honest, you being real. So when you doing something honest, it's gonna take longer to get there. It's gonna take longer to get what you're trying to get or achieve what you're trying to achieve, because you doing it the right way. And then people cheating. They find the shortcuts to get there. You gotta understand that, but you can't cheat in life. You gotta understand that, fam. You see, it's just like when you making honest money, when you making legal money. It's gonna be harder. Slow motion is better than no motion. It's gonna be hard because you getting that honest money. You're not out here stealing, robbing, killing, or doing all this and that for the money. You're not losing your integrity for the money. You doing it the right way. You ain't out here doing it the devil's way. You ain't out here doing it and trying to scam and rob people and doing all this and that. You ain't out here trying to get quick money and get fast money. You got to understand that. So when you trying to do all that, you got to understand that. That's why they call it a trap. Because you make money, you trap and you making money, but the police watch you every time. And people who've been so dumb with their money, you got to trap. You got this how the people in the streets be so dumb. You got to make money. You got to do that. Manage the money. You got to have a goal of how much money you want to make and invest it. Bro, because people that have a poverty mindset, they always want to spend money. They always want to spend. It's never about what can I invest in? How can I double, triple this money? You got to understand that. And when you making money, you got to know how to manage it. You got to understand that because money comes and goes. You got to understand that money comes and goes. So you got to know how to manage the money you get. And when people money do increase, they think they got to spend more. They think they got to spend all that money. No, when your money increase, you should know how to manage it. You should know how to, like, manage it more. You should know how to invest it more. Invest into something that's going to leave you something for life or leave something for your kids. You got to understand that. You got to know how to just manage your money. So you got to understand that, bro. What life taught me after COVID is everything is fugazi. Everything is fake. Nothing is real no more, bro. Everybody doing it for the dollar bill. Everybody doing it for attention. Everybody doing it to be seen for recognition and doing this and that, bro. And if it is real people out there, they being they self. And that's why they ain't got the most views, the most followers, or the most people rocking with them, or the most people but by their side, because they real. And people that was with them, they know they real. You got to understand that, fam. So you got to understand that life after COVID, it's just like everything just went down. Everything just went down. Everybody lost. Everybody walking around like a lost zombie. Don't know who they is. And lost in this world. But you got to understand that. You can be the ones who not lost in this world, and you know your power. You know who you is. You know your worth. You know your presence. You know this and that. You got to understand that. So I love y'all. Yahushua loves y'all even more. Just stay up and blessed. We truly this. We not new to this. A1.